Today on Listen Up, the young and the reckless. The latest research on today's teens reveals some startling trends. Next. Welcome to Listen Up, news that takes you deeper, delivered from a Christian perspective. I'm Lorna Dueck. Well, they've been variously called the Mosaics, the Millennials, Generation Y, and the Net Generation. But however you label them, today's teenagers are part of the largest generation in history. Today, two contrasting views on the teen years. Research that suggests fewer teens are drinking, using drugs, and having sex. And other research that delves into shocking practices of the teens who still are. A warning that not all will find our material appropriate for all ages today, as we take you to the edge of a dangerous new trend teens are engaged in. But first, Ricky Ratliff reports that for others, the edge has gotten a lot straighter.
Laura Bronson is a rebel with a cause. As a graffiti artist and youth worker, she travels around to skate parks, sharing positive values that are grounded in her Christian faith.
Well, I think youth are just really wanting to live out something real. There's something deep inside of everyone wanting to just be obedient and do what's right. And some of them don't know what it is that they have to do or how to do it. But, a lot of teenagers nowadays are just really seeking for something that's truth and something that's right, to have good morals all around, everywhere. You're seeing stuff like that happening.
Meet Jordan.
Straight edge is basically a lifestyle trend that started in the mid-'80s with a punk band called Minor Threat, and they just basically influence that kids don't have to drink, don't have to smoke to have a good time, and they could just go to a show sober and then still have fun.
20 years later, straight edge living still attracts converts both to its music and its message. For Jordan, this resonates deeply.
As a kid, I knew that I never really wanted to get into drinking or smoking, and I talked to my friends about it. But my old youth pastor introduced me to the straight edge lifestyle, and as soon as he said it to me, it just clicked, and I knew that it was for me.
Do you think that this is just a trend, this move towards no sex, no drugs, no alcohol, or less of it in Canada?
Well, it's definitely catching on, and it would be so sweet if it just it caught the attention of everyone, even kids that aren't even born yet. If they got to grow up into a culture knowing that you don't have to rebel to be cool,
So Jordan, what was your reaction from your peers when you decided to make this lifestyle change and then also decided to make it so publicly prominent?
Well, people knew that I was straight edge, but they didn't think I would stay straight edge forever. So I went out and got the tattoo without telling anyone, just with one of my best friends. And then I came to school the next day and then was showing it off, obviously. And then people were just like, oh, I guess he's really serious about this. But then some people were like, oh, he's gonna hate me because I drink, because I smoke. And I'm like, no, that's not it at all. It's just I want to prove to you guys and myself that I'm serious about this and that it means a lot to me.
Getting a new spin on walking the straight and narrow at Grimsby Skate Park. For Listen Up TV, I'm Ricky Ratliff.
Of course, not all teens choose the straight edge. Later in the show, the growing phenomena of middle-class girls trading sex for money and luxury goods. And one mom and dad's story of a desperate attempt to protect their daughter. Thousands now learn from their experience. But first, tracking the trends among today's teens. Dr. Reginald Bibby is a sociologist at the University of Lethbridge who's doing just that. He joins us from Alberta. Reg, you've recently completed your fourth in a series of historic national surveys tracking teen attitudes and behaviors. Among your findings, you've discovered that fewer teens are drinking, using drugs, and having sex. Have you any sense of why that might be?
When we look at the reality of the tremendous investment that we're making in teenagers, as far as trying to elevate the lives of teenagers, going back, for example, through or back to the mid-1980s and right through today, we would expect that over a period of time, with all the effort that we're putting into things like drug education, trying to discourage kids with respect to smoking, with sex education, all these kinds of things, we would simply expect, it seems to me, that life should be improving for teenagers, and what we're finding is that is in fact the case.
What surprised you most in the research?
I would say the thing that genuinely surprised me most is the overall positive findings that we've had. I certainly didn't go into this latest national survey assuming that all was going to be well with Canadian teenagers. I was frankly surprised to see consistently, as we looked at one area after another, to see the very positive results across the board.
Okay, and you did go cross Canada with this, and your research uncovered some startling statistics about the faith of our teenagers. More Canadian teens today identify with Islam than with the Anglican, United, and Baptist churches combined, and more teens than ever before, 32% now, say they have no faith at all. As a sociologist, what do you think that means for the future, Reg?
Well, I think it's rather ominous. I mean, the fact of the matter is that as we look at their parents and at their grandparents, we're seeing important, significant generational changes going on. It's really along two lines, it seems to me, that when we look at identification, as you're saying, significant changes taking place.
All right, Dr. Reg Bibby, author of Emerging Millennials, How Canada's Newest Generation is Responding to Change and Choice. You can get more on his book at our website. Reg, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lorna.
When Listen Up returns, a look at the flip side.
Yeah, I got lots of offers, take off your shirt, I'll give you $20, or, do a striptease up on the table, I'll give you $100.